Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Elias, Sailor Eli Warren.
I'm Maddie Grace, Spiffle Webben.
And I'm Bernard Hauk.
And today we are going to be playing part 2 of Ys Chronicles 2, Ys 2, Disappearance of Vanishing Ys. I'm sorry.
Final chapter XD.
I bungled it. I'm sorry.
786 over 2 days.
Yeah, I bungled it.
We're playing some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, before we get into that, oh boy. Oh, this has been a doozy of a week. Who wants to go first?
Eli, I think you should go first. Fill us in from your point of view. Also, I legitimately don't know how you're doing. I haven't heard the updates from your side.
Oh boy. There's the impossible has suddenly become possible at work. And I can talk about this because we made a public announcement.
Seems this has been happening a lot lately with a lot of people in a lot of situations.
Yeah, so, as you all know, because it is important and imperative that I, make this public because of where I work for Blizzard Entertainment. I've been working for Blizzard Entertainment for 11 years, and for the last 11 years we have been told work from home was never happening. Guess what I'm going to be doing starting Wednesday? And actually, technically for me, it started Friday. We had a test where a bunch of game masters worked from home, and I was promoted last year to a level above game master.
Nice.
And so I was chosen by my manager to test work from home. Gotta say, it's pretty sweet. But I also feel like I'm gonna just go fucking nuts. Because we are working from home for, as my manager put it, the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Yeah, dear God. I am going to go absolutely fucking crazy.
And working from home is, great in a lot of ways. But also, actually being in an office physically with your coworkers has a lot of benefits in a lot of situations, and we're all going to have to adjust to not being able to do that.
It's true. I mean, in the start of the modern era, people were at the very start of wage labor, people were paid to work looms and other types of crafty supplies from their homes, but they were still working it for a wage, and they had to deliver their products to their master, to their boss, but they were distributed. They were all working from home originally, and it wasn't until the bosses realized that they could increase productivity by bringing them all together in the same place to a factory that you really got the modern stuff got kicked off. Now, joke's on the bosses, because it turns out when he brings workers together, they get talking to each other and they can organize, and it turns out that capitalism creates the seeds of its own destruction. So yeah, I mean, so basically it's a toss up whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. I mean, the definite pros were I didn't have as many distractions from people coming up and talking to me. I felt more comfortable because I didn't feel like people were looking over my shoulder.
There wasn't that one coworker.
Yeah. I could just blast my music. I didn't have to worry about wearing headphones. I actually, I was asked to, list all of the tasks that we do and all of the tools that we use, and, give a brief description of them and, whether or not it works. And I was able to get that done within, the first 2 hours of work. I was really worried because I was like, I have no willpower. How am I going to do job at home? But I did it. And I'm very proud of myself for doing it.
Good.
Turns out I actually may have some willpower after all.
Now,
not a lot.
I will caution you. Don't work. Make sure you're not being more productive. Make sure you're the same productive, because they're not paying you more.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want them to get any funny. You don't want them to get any funny fucking ideas. Okay.
Yeah.
if you start being more productive, then fucking ease off.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is they're like, oh, limit your distractions, and I'm like, I've got my own fucking office with a door. Cats don't get in here. Ken almost never comes in. Like, he doesn't want to distract me, so like it's not going to be an issue. It's just like I have totally different weekends from Ken, and so I'm not going to have a whole lot of opportunities to come out, but we do have a little shopping center that was built like right at the edge of our subdivision not too long ago, and there's a little coffee shop there, so I'm thinking on my lunch breaks I might just take a walk over to the coffee shop and hang out there for a bit, and that way I'm getting out of the house. I'm not, just switching over to fucking Final Fantasy and doing that, because that, like, my inclination is to just keep myself holed in here forever, because that's the kind of person I am, and that's not good for me.
That's a great idea. You should definitely go to the coffee shop as long as you make sure you're, keeping proper social distance and such while you do it.
Right. I mean, like, I'll sit outside in their little patio area. I mean, usually, like, at work on my lunch breaks, what I do is I go out to the smoking area, I sit and vape, and I draw. And that gives me outside time. It means I'm doing something somewhat productive for my benefit. And, I can socialize with people who are out there. So, I think that'll be better for me than, just sitting in here at home on my computer the whole time. So that's how the fuck my week is going.
Okay, me next.
Yeah.
I have also switched to work from home as of today, as of when I get started on work after this. Fun fact, though, my area, the Bay Area, has become the first place in the whole country, we'll see if it's the last, to issue a what's it called? A shelter-in-place mandate. Basically, all 7 counties of the Bay Area, San Francisco, the Peninsula, the whole San Mateo area, Oakland, Berkeley, Richmond, the entire fucking Bay, which is a huge place with lots of people, is just on complete lockdown. And we are not allowed to go outside.
Damn.
So I wouldn't even be able to go to the coffee shop. That started at midnight this morning. It's not a strict law. They're not like, we're gonna, like, it's a literal crime to be outside. That they're saying at most, they're actually not even sure what the law is. In the press release, they were like, hey, we wrote this law very carefully and with a lot of consideration, but also we did write it very fast. They just straight up said that. They're like, we're going to be clarifying exactly what's going on in the coming days. And they basically were like, it would be a misdemeanor to be breaking this ordinance. And also, we're not even sure how we're going to enforce it. Like, are there going to be cops going around? We really don't know. That's kind of not the main point right now. But all non-essential businesses are ordered to shut down and not just suggested to. So every single company, including mine, is shutting down. Thank goodness I can do what I do from home. Before this, we were like saying we would maybe do it, and now it's just like, oh, actually it was me who sent the email, where I found out about the ordinance yesterday morning. I was actually the one who sent it to my boss and was like, hey, did you see this? I'm pretty sure you need to see this, because if this is true, we need to shut the fuck down. And my boss was like, oh, I will forward that to the higher-up boss. I guess I was just up a little earlier in the morning than the management and saw the email and saw the news. So if y'all are going to go a little stir-crazy, I'm going to go mega stir-crazy. It's literally like you're only supposed to be going out if it's to, like, get groceries or go to the hospital or, like, take care of a friend or loved one who is sick. So
I mean, can you take Jack outside so he can poop?
Oh yes, you can also go for walks as long as you are alone. Weirdly enough, they didn't close the parks. They're like, parks are still open, because there's like an extensive not not just like a nice little city park, but like a big park with hiking trails and stuff. Those are still open, but you can't be there in a group. So yeah, we're completely locked down over here. Last night I got my last bit of socializing in, because in addition to all that, all of my friends are breaking up with each other.
Oh God.
I'm low-key exaggerating, but like, my friends are having some fucking relationship problems, and I am, I am helping.
Are you helping them break up? Wait.
No, I am helping them manage their feelings maybe not break up. They're not actually breaking up. I'm exaggerating. But there are some... Breaking up is the thing that people are concerned might be happening. You know what I mean? How it is sometimes with relationships. And also one of them might have coronavirus.
Cool.
I did not visit that one.
I have a friend in Ohio who believes she may have gotten coronavirus, actually.
Yeah, this person could easily have something else. They're a little sickly, kind of. So they could just be fucking sick. Like happens often, but they're pretty sick. So yeah, it's a catastrophe on every single level out here.
Yeah, a few people I follow on Twitter, people I don't know personally, but whose work I'm a fan of, have the symptoms of COVID-19, and they're Americans, and they're just like, so I'm just calling my doctor, and I probably can't get tested, and
well,
we'll see. And I mean, luckily, like, no one I know personally has been really affected yet, but it's still it's a wild situation.
Yeah, it really is.
The friend I mentioned who, again, might have it, I haven't hung out with them for a hot second, maybe in like a week and a half. But I did hang out with their partner just a few days ago, and their partner had, of course, been hanging out with them. So there's a chance I was exposed to somebody that has it. On the other hand, the partner that I did hang out with has not been showing any symptoms at all. And did people ever figure out exactly how long it can lay dormant before showing symptoms? I heard like 48 hours, but then someone else was like, no, it's like 2 weeks.
I've heard it's a couple of weeks.
I've heard it, the like incubation time, I believe it's called, can be like 2 days to 2 weeks. It's been seen.
All
to
right.
be,
So time-wise, I guess
range.
I could have been exposed to someone who's been exposed, or maybe not.
Also, someone can be an asymptomatic carrier.
Yeah.
Right. That's true, yeah. So, yeah, who knows? And again, I'm not even 100% sure if this person has it, but I just know that they're sick, so.
The interesting thing about that is, so there was a big event that happened due to a bug in World of Warcraft back in 2005, called the Corrupted Blood incident. I'm sure you all gamers have heard of that.
No.
I'm sorry, not gamers, video game enthusiasts. For those who don't know what for those who don't know what Corrupted Blood was, there was a bug with with the boss Hakar in Zul'Gurub, where
those are words.
It had God damn it.
We're playing fucking East. You can't make fun of World of Warcraft names.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
You're right.
So when Zul'Gurub first came out, the boss Hakar had this ability. Well, it's always had this ability called Corrupted Blood, and it would do a debuff that would cause ticking damage onto player characters and their pets. When pets would get it, if you dismissed the pet while it still had Corrupted Blood, and then re-summoned it later, it would still have Corrupted Blood. Corrupted Blood would spread to player characters and NPCs. So people would go to, like, Ironforge or Orgrimmar, pull out their pets that still had the Corrupted Blood debuff, and, like, infect auctioneers. And it created essentially a virtual pandemic. Lower level characters would get affected by it, and if they did, because this was a level 60 debuff, they would die. They would just fucking die from it. And so, like, the ground was littered with skeletons. And there were people trying to issue quarantines. There were people who were social distancing in-game. Wow. The auctioneers were basically asymptomatic characters. The CDC actually used this event to do a study on pandemics.
Now I remember this. People have referenced this WoW thing recently. Okay, yeah, the CDC.
It's come back up because of the coronavirus, and so they're talking about, ways that we can handle this based on what was found in that study. And there's things like, there were people who were intentionally getting the debuff and then going out to Ironforge and pulling out their pets so that they could grief others.
Since it's virtual, it's a little different.
Right. But
I mean, that can still be the people who are sure this is all a hoax and are coughing as a joke and stuff.
That's true. Griefing versus being stupid.
People who aren't taking it seriously, people who are, they're not washing their hands properly. They're not, they're not doing anything different than they normally would because they're like, whatever, fuck it.
It's just the flow.
Yeah, exactly. So, wash your hands properly, cover your mouth when you cough. Don't be a dumbass. Like John Oliver said, panic a little. Don't go gargling bleach, but also don't lick subway poles.
Yeah.
Like there's a happy medium in there.
Like emotionally, I'm doing fine. I'm not panicking. I'm calm. I'm normal. Like it's fine. But also, it's like, I don't want to get it because it sounds like it's not fun. But also, more importantly, I don't want to spread it to I don't want to help it spread to other people. That's obviously the problem. So it's just like, do your responsibility as a human goddamn citizen. And that's the thing. Even like 2 weeks ago, like, I did not care about it in a serious way. But I was still like, I'm still going to be responsible and not be an ass.
Yeah.
I'm still going to do the things that the CDC is saying to do. And I was, you know.
That's another thing is, don't hoard shit, because in order to stop the spread, other people need that stuff too. Yeah. You can't just take it all for yourself because, sure, you're protected, but there's going to be a bunch of other people who don't have the hand sanitizer or the toilet paper or the, whatever Clorox wipes. We need everybody to have those things, not just the paranoid people who, are germaphobes.
A few more little PSAs in a lot of places. Y'all might end up having a stay at home kind of ordinance as well. Who fucking knows? We'll have to see, right? So first of all, get your socializing out of the way while you can. Because you might not be able to do that for a while. But also, a lot of places are like having to shut down. Just tip your fucking delivery drivers really well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's threads online about how you can like get deliveries from like Instacart or whatever, but you can like get the deliveries while having safe no contact practices. But like delivery people are all logistics workers are heroes right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you tip them well and treat them with respect and blah, 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 blah. I mean, you always should, but in case you weren't already, do it now, please.
I'm getting groceries delivered on Thursday. I ordered them Monday, and it's like the next time slot available is fucking Thursday. I'm like, oh boy. Usually it's like later in the day. But I made sure, like, I gave a $20 tip on my groceries.
Exactly. Fucking do it. Shit's crazy. So I'm glad to hear about your job, Eli, because you were the one I hadn't heard about. Because a lot of people are going to be losing hours or losing their jobs through this, which is really, really awful.
Yeah, it's fucking scary.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of businesses are going to shut down
because of their insane rents. Yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily, Eli's fine with the job, which is good. I also am fine. My job which is tutoring, was able to be taken remote. So far, all of my students have been like, "Yeah, I'd like to continue tutoring because we start classes back up in 2 days." My work actually is having a little bit of an uptick, which is funny.
Gosh, I had a doctor's appointment yesterday that was conducted via video conference.
Oh, that is one problem. I've been really wanting to go to the goddamn doctor for personal reasons, and now I'm like, I can't go to a fucking hospital. Unless I have a damn good reason, you know. And from what I've heard, Bernard's job is fine too. Bernard, update us on you.
Yeah, my job, I'm also very fortunate. My job can be done remotely, and we are starting work from home today. It's like the office isn't shutting down. Some staff who like need to be there to like make sure the I don't know, servers or shit don't break down. But most of the staff is going to be working from home, as far as I know. And what my boss told me is that we're working from home for 2 weeks, and then at the end of the 2 weeks, we'll evaluate where we are. Because no one has any fucking clue where we'll be in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We don't even know where we're gonna be fucking be in 2 days.
Yeah. So, I'm very happy that we'll be working from home starting today. And, other than that, I'm pretty much doing fine. Really, for me, the main thing it's affected is just there are lots of little things. Like, I realized I have a doctor's appointment at the beginning of April, and I'm like, I'm going to have to cancel that because probably the healthcare system just in general will be pretty overwhelmed. And also, I probably don't want to go into a doctor's office unless I have really good reason. And this is just like a regular checkup. And like I have something called like a backwater flow prevention device in my house or something. I don't know what it is, but every year the city sends me a letter and says, "Hey, get this tested or we'll be mad at you." And the deadline is the 26th, and it was supposed to happen this week. We're recording on the 17th. But then I got a call yesterday, and they were like, the people that I have scheduled to test it, and they're like, "Hey, we need to postpone till next week because of current events." And I'm like, I understand. But next week we could be in a fucking lockdown, and so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that thing tested. So if not, I'm just going to have to hope the city will be chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a bunch of little things like that.
To send them a letter and be like, "Hey, sorry, coronavirus is happening."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Yeah. We're gonna get fucking invaded by snakes because we can't celebrate St. Patrick's Day properly.
Oh no, we can't ward off the snakes. We need to make sure the coronavirus also mutates so that it transmits to snakes.
Oh my god, you guys, I have a snake in my house. Shit.
What?
I own a ball python.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Her name is Lady Vaj.
Eli's a snake lad.
She's named after a boss in World of Warcraft. I was going to call her Queen Ashara, but I didn't want it to go to her head.
But also to quote my only and still to this day most famous viral tweet, "I am rotating out of control due to anxiety about recent events."
Oh. For the most part, I feel like I've been handling just the uncertainty and stress and weirdness pretty well, but I did yesterday spend a lot of time just laying in bed and updating my drill thread because I just didn't have the capacity to do much other than look at archives of drill tweets and save pictures of Fire Emblem Three Houses characters.
It's a good thread. You know what? We should share that in various channels, including from the chapter from the podcast Twitter, because it's a great thread. Yeah, so if you're not sure what we're talking about, just check our social media. We'll fucking share it.
Oh, man.
So
God, we've been talking about this for 24 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how about that game we're playing?
Yeah, luckily,
well,
seems
2 of us are playing and 1 of us is watching.
Yeah, luckily, all seems fine in the world of. Actually, wait, hold on. Transition. Gotta transition it. We gotta have like a hook. Okay, so here's my hook, and this is true. A few days ago, I was like, so many things are happening. I have so much, not exactly anxiety, but more just like energy that needs to be directed in some way, and I'm very restless. And normally, when I do that, one thing I do is play a video game. But like, I couldn't find the time to. I couldn't feel like relaxing or playing a video game. I was like, that's just not a thing I'm capable of doing. I think about all the possible games that I know and love, and I'm like, eh. But then I was like, wait, I have to play Ys for the podcast. So like, I'm really glad that I like have to play this game, because otherwise I would not have been able to sit down and play any video game at all. So there you go. I played this game a lot, and it helped me out because I really like it. So there you go.
Yeah. So I guess let's get started. After stepping through the sealed door, there's a very long hallway, and we walk through the hallway, and we get a cutscene of the bad guys.
Whoa.
The robed figure is watching Adol through this crystal thing, and he tells a scary-looking night guy to prepare a mysterious ceremony and bring sacrifices. He also asks the weird gem thing that we saw in the opening if it thinks Adol is a threat to their ambitions.
Whoa.
It's all very mysterious and spooky. So we cut back to Adol, who steps out onto the ice ridge of Noltia. And the music whips, and it's a great dungeon. And it's just a great dungeon. It's pretty straightforward, but it's great.
Yeah, it rules. Having a cutscene in a hallway seems pretty cool, but I low-key kind of like my way even better. For me, you know how there was a door in a mine? Mm-hmm. You go through the door in the mine, and bam, you're in the ice dungeon, the music's playing.
Nice.
No transition at all. It's just like, whammo, listen to some music. Everything is a completely different color. It's just a completely different vibe. It's like you're just magically transported to a completely different thing. It's great.
Uh-huh. So in the Ice Ridge, we find some cool items like the Spirit Cape, which works like the heal ring in the last game.
Oh, damn, I didn't get that.
Ah, man, that is a shame. I mean, it might not be in your game, who knows? Or it might be in a different place.
I'll go back to make sure. We'll see. It doesn't seem like something they would change. I thought I explored pretty thoroughly, but yeah, I might check a guide just in case.
Yeah, is that something you want to have?
Yeah.
We also find the Hawk Idol, which makes our fireballs sort of curve to home in on enemies, but it's very janky and in my hands at least, not very useful. We also find the altar magic, and when we use this, Adol turns into a cute little kangaroo boy who can talk to demons.
He's so adorable. I love him.
Yeah,
this is a tiny little groo.
This, like, completely breaks the game in a way that is awesome. Like, literally every bad guy now, when you run up to it, instead of hurting you, it talks to you. And if you want to go through an entire dungeon with no danger, you just do it. It rules.
It's pretty great.
Did either of y'all watch and or play to go back to the previous areas and talk to those enemies?
Oh no.
I didn't. I kept thinking it'd be cool to do that, but then I didn't.
Yeah, Bumpy McSquigums, my boy, he did a lot of talking to the demons in the snowy area, but did not go back. Maybe he will at some point, but I don't think so, based on how he plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like, every demon in this game has a unique piece of NPC dialogue, and that's a fucking ton of writing.
Wait,
Yeah.
like even like multiple of the same kind?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he goes around
Wow.
and talks to all the enemies there, and they all say something totally different.
Okay, in my
It's
game,
really cool.
each type of enemy says the same thing. And in fact, although unless you're in different areas, so if you go to like Ice Mountain East or Ice Mountain West, they'll all have different dialogue. But it's just 3 or 4 different lines. But holy bazonkers!
Yeah.
Also,
It's
wow, we're
great.
just murdering them.
Yeah. They have feelings and thoughts.
Indiscriminately murdering them.
Yeah. Oh, Eli, you haven't played.
They respawn.
Yeah, it's true. I was gonna make reference to Nier, but Eli hasn't played Nier, so
Yeah,
never mind.
it makes me think of Undertale.
Oh, yeah,
Because,
that too.
you know, in Undertale, you're befriending all the monsters if you play a certain way, and like, you,
Although that game
could
makes
do
you feel
that.
bad about it, and this game
Yeah.
just doesn't bother.
Yeah. This game's like, no, it's just whatever.
I especially
it
feel
doesn't
it's
matter.
like there were a couple times where I would like talk to someone and they would tell me something, and then immediately after talking to them, I would switch back into Adel and just fucking blast them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Undertale really, it does not want you to kill the things.
This game's weird.
Yes, it is. So, some of the demons on the Ice Ridge mention a flying demon carrying away a pretty young woman, and some mention a door that is baffling them.
The scary door.
Yes. In the dungeon, we encounter another goddess statue, which says, "Great warrior, you have done well in reaching the Ice Ridge of Noltea. You must find the true door which will allow you to get through Noltea's ice-covered outer wall. The one that you see is mere illusion spawned by a magic barrier. If you can somehow reflect the truth, the real door shall appear before you. Please, warrior, do what you must to reach Solomon's Shrine." So we go through the dungeon, and eventually we come upon a door, but Adel can't open it. When he touches it, his hand slips through and goes numb.
Oh, that's neat.
If we're lucky, we've already found the anti-illusion mirror. If we're not lucky, we go back into the dungeon and find it. If we use it, it reveals a different door, and we go through the door.
Yep. The anti-illusion mirror isn't anywhere near the door, so I'm thinking like every time you use it, the whole screen like flashes. So I'm like going around the whole dungeon using the mirror, wondering where's the secret door gonna be. Turns out it's right next to the original door. It just kind of moved to the side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shifts to the left slightly, and it leaves a little hole in the wall of the of the mountain, which is
Yep.
pretty neat.
Yep, it's just like, oh, there it is. Cool.
Yep.
So, past the true door is a boss named Tilma. It jumps out, and it hops around the arena and makes these lines of spikes of ice travel outward from it in different patterns, and there can be a lot of these lines of spikes of ice, and it can be very hard to dodge them.
Mm-hmm.
And it is pretty intense. And we also have to use fire on this boss.
Yep.
Maddie, how was this boss for you?
Honestly, I don't really recall because the next boss completely obliterated all my memories of this one because the next boss is really fucking hard.
Yeah.
The next boss is a whole thing.
The
Yeah.
next boss is a motherfucker. So yeah, I only vaguely remember this one. It probably took me a couple tries.
Yeah, my good friend Bumpy is playing on easy, and even on easy, it was a fucking trial for him.
Yeah, Christ. But yeah, this one is whatever. It is interesting how I complained. I said last time, even though the bosses are sometimes a bit too hard or janky, it's cool that the previous game had such simplistic mechanics, and yet they were always finding interesting new things to do with the bosses. Oddly enough, in this game, they're a little bit less interesting because they're all just shmups.
Mm-hmm.
They're good shmups, but it's also like you're staying away from it and shooting it, which is a lot different than you have to literally run your face fucking into it, but in like a weird way, right? So yeah, it's a little bit less engaging just keeping your distance and shooting fireballs, but it's still pretty fun. It's a good time.
So after we beat Tilma, we step into the moat of Bernadettes, which is this huge cave with lava in it, and it looks really cool. And as Adel steps further into the cave, he feels like he's being watched. There's a goddess statue here which tells us, "Great warrior, you have done well in reaching the region of Bernadettes. This area of lava was created by the priests to shield against the demon's onslaught. It was no easy task to create such a drastic yet stable shift in the environment, but we did what was necessary to ensure our security. The only way to reach Solomon's Shrine is by traversing the paths through the lava itself. You may find some nearby who could be of help to you. Be sure not to judge solely on appearance. It is also likely that you may find one of the priest's magics here, as well as other magical items. Please, warrior, do what you must to reach Solomon's Shrine."
I like how they all end with that same sentence.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. It sounds good, too. Solomon's Shrine is a good phrase, especially when you read it in your old person sage voice. Solomon's Shrine.
So, if we talk to the demons here, one mentions that a bridge guard named Aruba might betray them, and that if he does, his son will get got.
Oh, shit.
Another demon mentions a Lord Dolls, and it seems very scared of him. Eventually, we come across a town called the Colony of Lava. Right here in the dang lava cave, there's a town.
Finally, the second town in the game, our warp spell can have more than one location.
Yes.
Uh-huh. A lot of the villagers seem scared of Adol, and distressed in particular by his red hair. A few of the villagers are more talkative, though. One said he felt like he was being watched near the goddess statue and wondered if there was a way to lure out whatever was there. Another says that there were sacred monsters called Roos, which were cursed by demons and went into hiding.
Oh, speaking of which, you can also turn into a Roo there and freak everybody out by being a monster in the village. It's pretty great.
Oh, yes. I have some interesting MMs about that later.
Nice. At the north end of the town is a drawbridge guarded by a human named Aruba. Ruba also comments on Adel's red hair, but says the mechanism to lower the bridge is broken and can't be repaired. If you speak to Ruba in your Roo form, he takes you for a slave of the demons who's there to check up on him. He says, "As promised, I won't let Adel cross. Tell the man in the black cloak that I'm doing what he said, so he'd better give me my son back. Adel's just going to keep coming back, though. You know that, right?" So, if you turn back into human Adel, you can tell Ruba that you know what's going on. You know that his son was taken. Ruba says his son Tarf was kidnapped by demons and a man in a black cloak who's said to keep a red-haired swordsman named Adel from crossing the bridge in exchange for Tarf's safety.
What an unfortunate name. He's 2 flipped letters away from being named Fart.
Yeah.
And Tarf spelled backwards is Frat.
I hadn't thought of that. The villagers have all been wary of Adel because they all know what happened, and they're like, shit, fuck. So, naturally, we offer to save Tarf. Ruba gives you the whisper earrings to help. They let you hear faint sounds. So, if you return to the goddess statue and wear the whisper earrings, Adel hears the sound of, quote, distinctly non-human footsteps, unquote. If we ring the evil bell, a Roo pops out of a secret passage to investigate. We follow the Roo back into the Roos Nest. If we turn into our Roo form, we can talk to the Roos here. One of them mentions seeing a human boy being led to a poison-filled passage by demons. There's a small tree growing in the nest from which we can pluck a rhoda leaf. A really stuck-up Roo named Bruce tells us, "The rhoda leaf is not food, my lad. It is the tool of a true gentleman, a shield against poison gas. Power alone will not see the gentleman through his hardships. Wisdom must temper the use of that power. Note my massive brain.
This guy rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Bruce. He all his dialogue is basically a memorable moment for me. I'll just get that out of the way. So we can use that leaf we just got to get through the poison gas we just found out about. Convenient. I mean, we could have found out about the poison gas earlier if we'd gone the other way in the cave, but I didn't.
I found out about it by going the other way and then immediately getting fucking owned by the poison gas. It drains your health real fast. First, honestly, like, the dungeon past the poison gas is a lot bigger than the dungeon before it. And I just somehow totally missed the other door that leads to the village. So I'd completely explored everything by the time I found the village.
So at this point, I had a bunch of money and I wanted to get some new equipment, so I warped back to Lance Village. But what's this? The NPCs have new dialogue.
Christ.
And the dialogue says Lilia has vanished. And what's more, there's rumors that demons have been hunting humans. Could this all be related to that sighting of a demon carrying away a pretty young woman?
Probably.
Who can say?
Yeah. Almost certainly.
I figured it was the chick from the previous game, but I guess not. There's lots of chicks being carried away by lots of demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems to be a thing in this world.
So, I think they also mentioned someone named, like, Bots or something is also missing, but I don't give a shit about that person.
Yeah, fuck them.
So I got my new equipment, and I warped back to the Roos Nest and ventured until I found the Poison Passage. We passed through the Poison Passage with minimal fuss. Deeper into the dungeon, we find a mysterious statue with a black pearl in its forehead, and we remove it. A fuck ton of demons appear, so if we're clever, we just use the Ultra Magic to slip past them. If we're not clever, we fight them all. If we talk to them, they all seem really distraught over the Black Pearl being stolen and worried they won't be able to fight Adel without its power. In another area, which we could have gotten to first, but I found the Black Pearl area first. I was going through all this in the right order. In that other area, we find a wall with a conspicuous crack. If we use the whisper earrings, we can hear someone on the other side and call out to them. It's Tarf! Tarf is thrilled you're here to rescue him, but doesn't know how you'll get out. Then he talks with someone on the other side of the wall for a bit. He tells us that if we can get the Black Pearl, his cellmate, Keith, can get them out.
This fucking monster's name is Keith.
Oh,
Yeah.
here's a fun thing about this part of the game. For the first time since literally the beginning cutscene of the game, this conversation's voice acted for some reason.
Oh, weird.
Like, instead of just... It kind of makes sense because you're like... I think they're trying to show how you're, like, hearing the voice from the other side. But yeah, like, I walk up to the wall, and I click the button, and then all of a sudden the sound gets quiet, and clearly, like, the music is being replaced by, like, a different audio track that also has the music, but also is quieter with audio, with voice acting. And then, again, this is, like, very, like, 80s American anime dub voice. So it's just like, hello, my name is Toph. I have been trapped in this room for 5 days now. Thank you so much for coming to save me. And it's just really weird. It's voice acted. Also, like, the next conversation that happens once we save Tarf and go back to the town is also voice acted. Okay. This game's cool.
I just love how this monster has, like, this normal-ass human name. And, like, not even the humans, a lot of them in this game, have normal-ass human names.
Only
because
the
there's a
monsters
guy
have
named
normal
Leg.
names.
Well, most of the monsters have weird monster names.
Yeah.
But then there's Keith, and I like to think that the kid named him. Just like, you're Keith now.
But how would he know what a normal name sounds like when he's named shit like Tarf? Maybe the parents are all just like, we have named him wrong as a joke.
Yeah.
So if we have the Black Pearl, we squeeze it through the crack, and the wall bursts open. We hear Tarf speaking to Keith, and we enter just in time to see someone burst through the door at the north end of the cell, and it looks like a demon. So Keith is a demon. Tarf thanks you for saving him and says he had been locked in there with Keith who is an intelligent, kind demon who spoke human language. That's weird. But when Tarf gave Keith the Black Pearl, Keith turned vicious like a normal demon. However, it looks like Keith gave the Black Pearl back to Tarf after he busted the wall.
He's still a good boy.
Yeah. There's something carved in the wall by... I wrote there's something carved in the wall by Keith, but it's not next to Keith. It was carved by Keith. It says, "I've been in here for 5 days now. Perhaps I'm finally due to pay for my crimes. Last night I dreamed for the first time in ages. It was so strange. A girl appeared calling out that I..."
Oh God, don't die.
That hurts my voice.
Yeah.
A girl appeared calling out that I must go to the shrine. She resembled one of the legendary goddesses. It may have been more than a dream, and if so, I regret that I cannot lend my aid. I'm not ready to die yet. So Tarf asks us to take him home. This works like the Fina escort mission from the last game, meaning it's pretty annoying, because Tarf walks really slowly. Luckily, the path north that Keith opened up makes for a fairly short journey to the colony of lava. So Tarf and Ruba reunite and thank us for our heroism. Ruba lowers the bridge for us, and not long after crossing it, we come to our next boss fight.
Whoa, what was that?
Oh, that was me going woof, because this boss is hard.
Oh, okay. It hurt my ear.
It sounded awful.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just doing a dramatic exhale.
Anyway.
Sorry, go on.
It's Delaldi, an enormous, wretched, severed head. Long fangs line its mouth. Its eyes are blood red. Hooks are stuck in its sickly green flesh. It slides across the room to chase you, then opens its mouth. A mass of worms pours from its mouth, along with a giant, veiny thing that wriggles after you.
I thought it was its own fucking intestines. This thing is disgusting.
Yeah,
it is.
I hate it.
Here's
it's
the thing.
I
I can't explain why, but like when a thing opens its mouth and a giant worm comes out of the mouth, that's like kind of weird and creepy. But then when the giant worm thing goes back into the mouth later, that somehow makes it 50 times worse.
It's bad.
If he was just spewing these things out, it'd be less weird. It's like, no, there's one worm. It goes out and then it comes back in.
Thanks, I hate it.
In the Chronicles version, at least, the graphics have all this like massive worms or intestines or something just like spilling out of the mouth, along with the giant veiny worm that comes out and chases you.
Worm.
And yeah, so the worm chases you around, then goes back into the mouth, and while it's sucking the worm back into its mouth, that's the only time you can hurt it. And you hurt it with fireballs again.
In mine, you can also hurt it when he's ejecting the worm, but it's a pretty tight window. Also, he's literally shooting a worm at you when he does that. So in the best case scenario, I could get literally one hit in with the fire when he was ejecting the worm, but I could usually get like 3 or 4 in while it was going back in by standing close and mashing the button. So eventually I was like, yeah, this is too dangerous. There's not really a point to getting it in that first window. But yeah, it's tough. What are some other information about how this battle works, Nard?
Well, I had tried to shoot the fireballs at the guy when the worm was coming out, but I never succeeded in hitting it that way, so I gave up on that and just tried when it was sucking it
Even
back
if
out.
it is possible in your version, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it took my best friend Bumpy a good 20 minutes to beat this boss.
Yeah, same about.
So, yeah. The battle was pretty tough, in part because of the psychological damage that I, the real person playing the game, was taking, having to look at that thing.
I was taking psychological damage from watching a video. I can only imagine how I would have felt actually playing this.
Yeah, so, I think that's pretty much it for how the boss works. And also another thing about this boss is eventually it starts spawning regular ass demons.
Oh wow!
That are also in the room. It just spawns them one at a time, but they're really annoying because they're like fire elemental demons, so you can't hurt them with fireballs, and they'll like block your shots sometimes.
Oh, man.
So you have to deal with them, and it's just another fucking thing to juggle in this awful, awful boss fight.
In mine, it never does that. If I had to guess, because your version probably controls a lot more tightly, it made a lot of the difficulty go away, so they had to add those in to make it harder. In mine, because of the 4-directional movement, so the worm's chasing you, and it chases you pretty tightly. It kind of goes directly where you are, and then does it does that thing where, if you were to dodge just a little bit, it would have to do, a big curve to, curve around. It can't do, tight cornering. But the problem is the boss is also chasing you, and they kind of chase you differently. So the boss chases you slower. So if you're running away from the worm, you might sort of have to kind of do a figure 8 along the wall because you reach the edge of the wall and run back, but now you're running back towards the other one that was chasing you. You basically have to do a figure 8, and I was having trouble at first because I was doing a figure 8 where I was going from the top, I was going from the bottom up, and then diagonally from top right to bottom left, and then up, and then diagonally down, and then up, that kind of pattern. I ended up having to reverse it because something about the way that both the enemy and the worm handle the bottom part of the screen versus the top part of the screen and how close they'll get to it, blah, 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 blah. It just ended up being way easier to avoid sort of the cornering and the pretty loosey-goosey hit detection if I reversed it, where I was going to the top of the screen on my diagonals and then going down the sides and then using my diagonals to rise back up to the other side. Once I figured that out, it actually wasn't that hard. I may have beaten it on only my second try after I figured out that's your basic trick. But that's still not all you do. You still have to, that's kind of the pattern, but sometimes you have to modify that because you got to make sure that if you're just focusing on dodging, you might not be in a good position to shoot him once you get an opportunity to shoot the guy, right?
Yeah, you're trying to dodge the boss, but you also have to lure it into a good position for you to shoot it, because if it's too near the bottom of the screen, you won't be able to get in front of it and shoot its gross mouth.
In mine, you can shoot from the side, but it still makes it quite tough. And also, you might be running in the same direction as where the worm is. The worm is already retreating, but it's you need to be where it is to shoot the boss. Yeah, it's a lot. I guess looking back, I really enjoyed it. I guess it's probably a good boss, but it was just so strange.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good boss.
Real ease 1 hours, honestly, with all the weird focus on positioning and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we eventually beat that boss, and we go through a corridor, and we come out upon this really cool mountaintop village called Ramia Village. And the music is really cool.
Music is lovely.
We'll find out what this village's deal is next week.
That's going to be it. Actually, I'll just go ahead and tell you, because we all told y'all last time we're going to go to Solomon Shrine. Literally, you talk to, this is a really quick village. You talk to, 2 NPCs, and they're like, hey, Solomon Shrine's right over there. And because of some shenanigans, you have to go into Solomon Shrine, and you go in there 2 minutes after you get to the town. But you're going in there for a quest for the villagers. So presumably we'll do some shit and then come back out and then go back in later.
But remember, we didn't actually tell them that we're going to Solomon Shrine last time because we re-recorded.
Oh. Oops, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah, I got to this point and I was like, I don't really have it in me to play more. Yeah. I've got to just lay down and think about things for now, because there are lots of things to think about.
Many things to think about.
So let's move on to memorable moments and think about those instead.
I've got a decent number of them, so I'm gonna hit a couple. Do you have some?
I just have one I wanted to talk about.
Oh, sure, let's do yours first.
I fucking love the Rue Village. They're adorable, and they all have names that have Roo in them. And when you tell the Roos that your name is a doll, they're like, well, your name isn't a doll anymore because you're a Roo. Your name is Adoru. Which is cute. Also kind of hilarious because if this were in Japanese, his name would be pronounced Adoru.
Oh, neat. That reminds me of slimes, how they say goo and everything.
Yeah.
It's very
very Dragon Quest. But yeah, I love these little guys. And yes, Bruce is fantastic. And his name is spelled Brooce.
Yes.
Nice.
Which is great.
So I already mentioned how much I love Bruce. He has some other good dialogue about being a gentleman that I didn't capture. But also a fun thing is that in the Roo Village, there's another Roo who is like, have you met my big brother Bruce? He fucking sucks. And he has various dialogues about the ways that Bruce is awful. And it's very good. But the only dialogue that I captured for this, for memorable moments, is another example of, I mentioned this last week, by which I mean an hour ago when we recorded it. I mentioned that I often capture for memorable moments jokes that I don't like, but which are notable. So we find this one monster that is like, ah, man, I feel terrible, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not allowed to take a break. Not a one. I knew I should have joined the union, the Monster Workers Alliance. Specifically, the Monster Workers Alliance for Halflings, Ancients, Halberdiers, and Armor Shells. Mwahaha.
I actually think that rules. It rules less as it goes on. It was better when he just said I should have joined the union. The rest of it makes it worse. But that's funny. Also, pro-union messaging.
Yeah. So, Maddie, did you have any memorable moments?
Quite a few, actually, though. They're all quite minor. So, first of all, I really like when you're in the fire area because connecting the major dungeony parts are all these, like, sort of side-scrolling parts with foreground and background. Was that how it was for y'all?
I don't think so.
Like, not literally side-scrolling, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like right to left. And here, I'll actually send you, since...
Oh, yeah. There were areas.
Yeah, like and there's like foreground pillars, and you're just walking from the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen, and there's not like there's a background, and there's not like y-axis motion, really, in a significant way. So yeah, there's so many of those. Those really reminded me of Undertale, you know? Because Undertale is largely laid out in a horizontal motion kind of manner. And in fact, the village is even that way too. The Fire Village is laid out tableau style, very Undertale-y, which is kind of cool.
It is neat.
And also,
I wonder if Undertale actually did take some inspiration.
Maybe. I mean,
I know it's mainly based on Earthbound,
yeah.
but
I mean, Toby Fox definitely was taking inspiration from, you know, I mean, he seems very, very well versed in all the old classic games, and I think that spills in, you know. But like, especially though when you go into the very first tunnel where you're walking through, and as you're just walking through this again right to left tableau-like area, it's like you feel someone is watching over you. I'm like, yeah, that's some Undertale shit. But anyway, for mine it says you feel someone's watching over you. And then you keep walking, and then another text box pops up, and it says, "It's not anything evil, but you sense some kind of demon." Which I just find very funny. For mine, that whole thing was a lot weirder and different, and I would say less interesting. You don't go to a different village; they just kind of like show up in that area when you use the bell, and I don't know, it's interesting. In addition, though, I first went to the village already being in monster form, just because I was already there, so I just thought, I'll talk to the people as in monster form, right? And some of them are just like, hey, how did a goon get into this village, you know? But my favorite one is, I talked to this guy as a critter, and all he says is, I'm dead now. And let's see, where is it? Then there's some other stuff. Later when I came back as Adel, it turns out he says the wise people pretend to be dead when they're about to be attacked by goons. Wild goons. And then also, what? That goon was really you? Then why did you trick me? Let's see, what else do I got here? This was actually just plot stuff. That slouch Adel has no idea that he'll be dead in no time, says one of the villains.
One of the goons.
One of the goons, yes. One of the characters who has, I'm just gonna send y'all this picture. There we go. I'll send it later. One of the NPCs in the Fire Village looks like a damn like old-timey prospector. He's got like a big old hat and a beard, and is like smoking a pipe, and is like, "Yep," which is a good time. Yeah. Then I guess the next couple ones I have are actually from. I guess they'll be next week now because they're from the next village. Also, I think it's really cool that like so much of the game is only out of one village, and I'm like, is there ever going to be a second village in this damn game? And then you get to Ice Dungeon, and it turns out it's just a dungeon. There's no village. And then you go to Fire Dungeon, and for me, I went through most of the Fire Dungeon before I realized it was a village, and I was like, is that just it? Is this game just dungeons now? But I really like how you go from Ice area with no village, to Fire Village with Fire area with a village, and then you somehow leave that and you're back in a different part of the Ice area, and then there's the Ice Village. I don't know, that's just a really...
Oh, in the Chronicles version, Ramia Village is not ice themed, it's mountaintop themed. It's like brown stone and stuff.
Oh, in mine it's the exact same graphics as the Ice area.
I guess they can just fit more graphics into the Chronicles version.
That's funny, because I actually like my way, I don't know, I kind of like my way better, because it's just like, yeah, like, the fire was just like part of it. This is an ice mountain. They just put some fire in it because of, like you said, because of lore reasons or whatever. So now we're back to that ice village that we didn't go to earlier, which I find rather cute. And also we're probably like higher up on the mountain or something, right? Yeah, it's good shit. I like talking to the goons. It's a good. Oh, one more. This is actually a bit of a what you might call emergent gameplay, because in this game all the goons of a certain type say the same thing, but coincidentally, I happened to talk to a certain one at a certain time that made a really funny effect. So I'm having trouble navigating the dungeon. It's tough. It's kind of confusing. You got all those one-way slopes in the ice area. And I finally get through a door, and I'm looking for stuff, and I see a chest. And right next to the chest is an enemy. And I talk to the enemy, and he's like, Ada will never be able to go forward because I hid... because I hid the boots in a chest. He'll never find the chest, and the chest is literally right next to him. So I turned back into Adel and then killed him, and then opened the chest.
Nice.
This is a good time. Yeah, that's
you need those boots to get up the one-way slopes Maddie mentioned.
Yeah. It was just part of the dungeon's shtick, you know. But yeah, no, it's just a good, lot of fun little jokes and japes in this game. It's good shit. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, I am really enjoying this game. And it's, like you said, it's good to be obligated to play a game at this time. Helps with the not just losing it. Forced leisure time. The video game playing will continue until morale improves. Yes. But in 3 days we'll have Animal Crossing New Horizons and everything will be better.
I wasn't gonna get it, but I might get it. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, I'm probably gonna pick it up. I'm gonna be here a whole lot, and it'd be nice to like live in a world where I can communicate with people.
Here's the thing. I could get it, and I do like Animal Crossing, and this new one looks like it's probably awesome, because that's how Nintendo is now, and New Leaf, of course, was great. On the other hand, I could get Pokemon Sword Shield, since I never fucking got that shit.
I need to play that more.
You know you would only play 2 gyms of
Yeah,
it,
but I'd enjoy it. Or I could finally play the entirety of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you know? Who knows?
Who knows what the future holds? Not me.
Not me.
Eli, do you know what the future holds?
You probably do.
I don't know what 5 minutes from now holds. Anytime someone is like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I nearly have a panic attack because I'm like, I don't fucking know. Dead in a ditch, maybe.
Oh, I do know one thing that the future holds. Announcement time.
Oh,
we were
shit.
supposed to announce this last week, and actually we did, and then I lost the recording, and then we forgot to do it again. And now, whoopsie doodle. Anyway.
And I'm pretty sure everyone in the Discord knows already.
Yeah, in case y'all don't already fucking know, our next game is... well, this is the end of year 2 of this podcast. It's been wonderful doing it for 2 and some change years, and just like last year, we're gonna be selling out. Instead of playing a less known game or an indie game or something, we're playing a really popular game that y'all will all love, and it'll get us lots of clicks. We are playing Chrono Trigger. Finally.
Yeah!
Woo! Chrono Trigger, as I'm sure everyone knows, is a very great, very famous game.
And I have never played it.
And Eli has never played it, which was one of the main reasons we decided to go for it.
In fact, I haven't played it so hard that I've avoided spoilers for Chrono Trigger forever.
Which is awesome, because it's full of great surprises.
Game Grumps are currently playing it, and I'm avoiding those episodes like the plague, no matter how much I want to watch them, because I fucking love Game Grumps. And it's making me very sad every time I can't see an episode.
You'll be able to watch them pretty soon, though. In just a couple weeks, you'll be able to watch them.
Definitely wait to watch them because, you don't want to be spoiled on all the cool twists and fun things that happen in Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger is a good-ass game. We're going to be playing it after this, so just a couple weeks from now. So get started thinking about, if you're playing along with us in real time, get started thinking about how you're going to play. I said last time I would give more details later, and it's still not really later, so I'll still put this off, but my very quick and dirty assessment is the original game on SNES is great, and the PS1 version is great, and the DS version is okay. Every other version is horseshit, and you shouldn't play it. I don't normally condone pirating things, but I think that, maybe buy the Steam version and then play the SNES version. You're going to have a lot better time. So start looking into that.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy the Steam version so that you are, giving money for the game, but do not play it.
Yeah, no, the modern Square has not done a good job of doing right by one of their all-time classic games. They've done a bad job of releasing it in a modern form. It's not as bad as Final Fantasy VI bullshit, but it's still bad.
Tim Rogers has made a whole video about it when it just came out about how fucking ugly it is in so many ways. And I know they've patched it to make it better in some ways, but still, don't
fucking play it. Yeah. So if you, most of our listeners are probably pretty savvy and know how to get how to play an SNES game. But if you don't, maybe start looking into that. Because that's the game that we're playing. We're probably not going to be playing multiple versions this time around because not only are the other versions bad, but they're also not that different.
I think Sam might have said that he's going to play the DS version. In any case, the only real difference between the Super Nintendo and DS versions is a slightly different translation.
Yeah. It's a more accurate, more detailed, and probably more quote-unquote better translation. But Loki, I kind of think it's dry and weird and doesn't work. It doesn't have that nice, just Ted Woolsey pop.
The original is translated by Ted Woolsey, so it's going to be anything but dry.
Yeah, it's just nice, it's simple, it's poppin', right? The translation, the new one's weird. I don't think that's just nostalgia. I think it legitimately is worse. Also, the DS version does have a lot of extra content, but it's all just an extra dungeon that doesn't matter. So
yeah. I did just check. Chrono Trigger is available on PSN as a PS1 classic that you can play on your PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, or PlayStation Vita if you want to do it that way. That
version is also basically fine. That version is not that different from the Super Nintendo version. It's got a couple problems, but really no big deal.
Does the PS1 version have the Woolsey translation, or was that when they made the new one? I have no idea.
I'm 99% sure it has the Woolsey translation. I think the only real difference is it has these cool-ass anime cutscenes. Also, the original Final Fantasy Chronicles version had really awful load times, but I'm guessing that won't be the problem if you're downloading it off of PSN. So there you go, problem solved. So yeah, you basically got one perfect way to play the game, SNES, one probably 99% fine way, PSN, and then a bunch of horse shit. So
DS is also fine if that's
what
you
you're
have.
fucking into. Yeah. So yeah, heed my warnings, but also get excited because wow, what a lovely game. What a lovely game. We're all going to be having a good time playing it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And Eli's actually going to be playing it too.
Yes, I will play this one. Sam bought me the Steam version, but I downloaded a ROM for my SNES emulator, so I'm going to be playing that.
This
might
is
actually
a normal, classic RPG style gameplay. You're going to love it and not stop playing it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that because, like, I need more of those just regular ass turn-based RPG kind of things. Like those are the kind of RPGs that I'm used to and that I love. There obviously, there are aspects of other ones that I've enjoyed, but it's just easier for me this way.
Yeah, no, it's just the thing you want to fucking play. I also have a deep affinity for those kind of games, They're just a good fucking time.
I may try to get myself to record it too. I don't know. I've been I've fallen off the map on YouTube basically, and I feel kind of bad for that, but like I just got kind of burnt out. But I think it would be fun for people to see and hear my reactions and all my funny voices again that I'm not really that good at, but whatever. I enjoy doing them.
Sailor Eli, The Return. Now everybody's really old, and Sailor Eli is like four different people.
It's been 25 years. There's tulpas of me all over the place.
You should go edit the last time you actually recorded and have it with you saying, "I'll see you again in 25 years" at the end of it.
Hello, Sailor Eli. I'll see you again in 25 years.
Actually, you know what? I started watching Twin Peaks with a friend who hasn't seen it before last night.
Oh, I fucking love doing that.
I know. It's my favorite thing in the world. I'm like, if you're gonna be my friend, you need to fucking watch Twin Peaks, okay?
Yeah, but it's because I love you. I need my friend Jenna to come back and watch more of The Return with me. I can't even remember where I left off with her. We watched like 4 episodes and then just
Hello,
Mr. Jackpots.
What I love about introducing people to Twin Peaks is even if I'm not going to watch the whole series with them, I want to watch the first episode with them because I could watch the first episode of Twin Peaks fucking as many times as you want me to. It's just a perfect piece of television.
I've only watched the entire original run maybe twice. I've probably seen the pilot literally a dozen times.
I go back and binge watch all of it on Netflix every now and then. It's great Halloween viewing. There's plenty of plot lines that I just despise in the original series. James is the worst. But
excuse me, James has always been cool. We should probably stop talking about Twin Peaks.
I'll never stop.
We're gonna
talking
accidentally
about
say
Twin
a big
Peaks.
spoiler.
I'm sorry, I made a passing reference to Twin Peaks. I should have known what would happen if I made a passing reference to Twin Peaks. I'm sorry.
That's like the main, aside from being queer to various degrees, that's like the main common denominator between the three of us is Twin Peaks.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, to get off this Chrono Trigger hype train, just get excited and tell your friends to listen because we love having listeners.
Yes,
that's why we're selling out.
You're the ones who actually keep us going because if we didn't have listeners, then it'd be real hard to make this podcast.
Yeah, we've all had to start doing the podcast from home because of coronavirus. We are no longer recording the podcast at the podcast factory.
In front of a live studio audience.
Yeah, a really fancy studio.
Can we get some laugh tracks in with our podcast from now on?
Damn it, that's actually a really funny idea. Like whenever Bernard reads one of the really stupid jokes, we put in like like one of the way over the top like laugh tracks where they're just
like they would do
nuts.
in like Scooby Doo and the Flintstones. Like I want this to happen now.
Okay, we're done. We should end this. I'll do it.
Okay, please.
Thank you for listening to our
so
stupid fucking podcast. If you like what you're hearing, you can check us out on various things online. We got rpgbook.club is our website, and that'll have links to our things such as Twitter, RPG Book, which is just at RPG Book Club, or our email, rpgbookclub@gmail.com, blah 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 do. Our Ko-Fi, I forget what the link is. It's probably ko.fi/RPG Book Club. Yeah, the way we normally do things is if you donate to us, if you set up a donation to us, it'll allow you to vote on what game we're playing next, except not this time because we're playing Chrono Trigger. But normally you get to do that, and also sometimes we release exclusive or timed exclusive subscriber only content, blah 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 blah. But mostly it lets us do more games. For example, we're going to be doing a really fun extra game starting somewhat soon based on y'all's very generous donations, which are mega appreciated. So yeah, that's it. Please join our Discord. Have a good time with us. Stay safe out there, everybody. Stop doing hugs. Normally we encourage hugs because we're very pro hugs and affection towards your bros, but stop doing hugs temporarily.
Yeah.
Stay 6 feet from your bros.
Yeah. Get a thing longer so you can do 6 foot hugs with your bros,
and then sanitize the thing longer.
The thing longer. Yes. I knew
it hasn't been invented yet. It's not going to be invented for another 1,000 years.
I always love making Futurama references because I know Eli is just going to go nuts every time.
Fucking love Futurama.
But yeah, anyway, stay safe out there, everyone. I've been Maddie Grace Webben.
I have been and will always be Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Bernard Houck.
Bye.
Toodaloo, folks. Stay safe.
Goodbye.